So, can somebody tell me if this session has started on YouTube? Because I've restarted it. Yeah, I think they are gonna show me here. I can, yeah, okay, it has started. So, guys, guess what? Congratulations, thank you for supporting me. I'm 900, I'm 900 what subscribers to 1,000. So, continue pushing the word because I've seen that now I'm 100 subscribers. And it was under, and that means I've made like 10 subscribers in a week or something like that. So, all right, so let's look at loops. We said, for those who are not there, we said that loops enable a developer to execute some code for a particular amount of time, okay? So the code gets executed and executed and executed. A good example can be like, say for example, if I write here, P, this is my name, okay? And I repeat it, okay? I copy and paste like that. That is like looping. The other one can be like the way you hear songs. You can play songs in a playlist and then you tell the music player to repeat. That would mean that it can repeat the songs if it plays all songs, it can repeat them from the beginning, or you can tell it to repeat a certain area for a certain number of, to repeat from a certain point of a song to a certain point of song for a certain number of times. So that's looping. Now, today we are going to look at a for loop, okay? We are going to look at a for loop, which takes this syntax. It's a for, it starts with the keyword for, then you open the brackets and you create an initializer. You put a semicolon to terminate that initializer. Then you put a condition, and after putting the condition, you put a decrement or increment. And after the increment or decrement, you do not put a semicolon. Then you'd proceed those with a pair of curly brackets to write block, code block to be looped. Okay. By looping, I mean to be recycled or repeated. Okay, so that's the condition. That's the format or the syntax of a for loop. Okay, so let me say here, for loop syntax. I'll end the H2 here and then start the paragraph there and end the paragraph here. So that's it. Now we can, if we wanted this word here to be repeated a number of times, in PHP, we can just write a for and say, the initializer, it will be like, excuse me, I see some message in the chat. Let me check it. Hello, Mr. Constant. Please allow my boy teacher to be part of this class. Is it the one that made the 100th subscriber? He is following you from Kamoy. What's your boy's name? Will he be consistent? I ask, please open the microphone and answer. I ask to be pardoned. Upon my exit, I will submit my homework on Thursday. Good session to you all. Thank you, Peter. We wish you a quick recovery. Yes, Stephen?
Mr. Constant.
Yeah, where did I get that nickname of Constant?
It's the first one I learned in your lesson.
Wanji, you've moved far from the microphone. I've not heard you
It's
clearly.
the first word I learned from your lessons.
Really? Okay. Thank you.
Uh,
Hmm.
you are constant, you don't change. Now, this boy is consistent. We share the same internet, we sleep with it, we move with it, it follows us everywhere.
Okay, that's good.
Mm.
Yeah, let him get in. We shall get his details later. Let him
Okay,
get
thank
in.
you.
Yeah, thank you for giving him the opportunity. All right, so we shall put the brackets here, and then we can put the initializer. And the initializer will be like, if you remember how we've been initializing our our variables, like sometimes we used to say number of students, and we initialize it with 5, for example. Okay, so something like that can come here as the initializer. Okay, though most times we start from 0, or depending, but let's start from 5. Then we put the condition, and this condition can be comparing the variable in the initializer with something. So we can say if number of students is what is greater than 0, okay, we can do something. What can we do? We are going to do a decrement. We shall say that decrease the number of students. And how? Yes, this is why it was good for us to learn about the decrement and increment operators earlier on, before we started this step. So now what is going to happen is that the for loop has the initializer. It has, oh, excuse me. It has the condition. So it starts by initializing, then it checks the condition, then it performs something. Okay. And then it will execute the code here. So here we can write echo PHP, this is my name. Now at the browser, though today I'm not going to go to the browser, we are going to go to the command line. Don't you worry, it won't be difficult. No, I should go to the browser because there's some HTML code in this. Yes, there's some HTML code in this. So I would go to the browser. Okay. So now this statement here is going to be repeated, and I would wish to show that my name is, now here I'm going to put a break line and say I am student number, then I'll put the student number. So that means for me to write slightly uncomplicated code, I'll put the template. I'll use the template retros and students, then I'll put the student there. So here I'm student number in the queue. So we expect that every time the for loop executes, it will be, at first it will initialize with a 5, then it will check whether the 5 is greater than 0. If the 5 is greater than 0, it will reduce that 5 and make it 4. Then it will put 5 here. Then after putting 5 here, or after executing the code on number 16, it's going to go back. And by that time, it will find that this is no longer 5, it's 4. It will check whether 4 is greater than 0. And if it finds that 4 is greater than 0, it will decrement and get a 3. So it will remove 1 from the 4 which it retained here, or which it stored here, and then it will output a 4 here. Then it will go back and check. It will find that this is a 4. It will check whether a 4 is greater than 0. It will check whether, yes, it will check whether a 4 is greater than 0. Then it will decrement that 4 to 3, and it will put a 4 here, like that until when it completes. So we are going to see this statement many times until 5 times. Is that clear?
Yes.
All right, let's see if that happens. I'll go to the browser and put in our, I think it's PHP mentorship week 9, Tuesday, right? Tuesday, and enter. So you can see that here, this is my name. I'm student number 5 in the queue. This is my name. I'm a student number 4 in the queue until when it has reached at 1. Why has it stopped at 1? It has stopped at 1 because here we told it to stop at a condition when the number of students is greater than 0, and 1 is greater than 0. So it has decremented to that level, and that's why you see that it has started from 5 going down to 1. You can do a similar thing while incrementing. We can do something like this, and here we can, instead of calling them number of students, we can call them customers. We can say customers in queue. Then we can start from 0 instead of 5, and then we can say if customers is less than 5, okay? If customers is less than 5, increase the number of customers. Oh, guys, sorry. I had forgotten this. I'll copy it and take it over here. I also take it over here and here. So this is, so I'm just gonna say, this is customer, certain number in the queue. All right, so what do we expect to happen here? What do we expect to happen here?
We expect the queue to go on increasing.
The queue to increase?
Yeah, the number of customers in the queue.
To increase, oh yes, you are right. So what is it gonna tell us to be specific?
This is customer 1 in the queue. This is customer 2 in the queue until it reaches customer 4. Oh no, it will start from customer 0.
Okay.
This is customer 0 to customer 4.
Okay, let us see. Let us see. Thank you very much, David. So I'll go over here and refresh. And something David has said that it will go, this is customer 0 in the queue, customer like that up to 4. But you can see that for this one, it started from 5 to 1. It doesn't have any 0, it doesn't have any 4. So you might want something like that. And for you to have something like that, what would you put here? And what would you put here in this condition? Apart from David, someone else should contribute. There's something we have to change here and here. if we want for it to show us this is customer number 1 in the queue, this is customer number 2 in the queue, this is customer number 3 in the queue, customer number 4 in the queue, and the customer number 5 in the queue, what shall we put there? Looks like we have to, I don't know how we can interact with the people on the YouTube channel. Probably they would like to interact, but I don't know this. I'm new to this thing and I'll learn it anyway. I'm going to watch a video and learn how to stream. And if we can afford sometimes in the future, we can stream with StreamYard because I've heard some people talking good things about it. So guys, yeah, let's StreamYard.
For the YouTube, maybe assign a moderator, someone to moderate if we are using Zoom.
Oh, really? Okay, I don't know. Okay, let's first solve this code thing. We shall discuss about the YouTube later when I get more information. Yes, so someone should contribute here. We want, instead of showing the customer 0, because we know that in the queue, normally in real life, there are no zeros. Zeros are in computer, things. Programmers understand those zeros, but real life people won't be happy to see themselves as customer 0 in the queue. So, are we there? Okay, I think so who wants to contribute and we call it a day?
If I don't know if I've understood your question, but I think the answer is, we set the initialization to 1 instead of 0.
Okay. Instead of 0, okay. Then have I lost her?
Yes, I'm still on.
Okay.
Yeah, then we shall have 1 printed first.
Then if we have 1 printed first, we also want number 5 to be printed.
Oh, say less or equal to.
Here.
Yeah,
okay, looks perfect to me. So let us see. Thank you for the contribution, Sharon. Thank you for being attentive. But after it runs, you are going to explain to us why you gave us those. So that's it. It has shown this is customer 1 in the queue, customer 2, 3, 4, 5 in the queue. So that's how a for loop works. But Sharon, could you explain to us, or could you break down what is going to happen?
Okay, so
thank you.
The for loop, from the explanation, the first part is for initialization, then the second part is for condition to be met, then the third part is for I don't know how to explain that, increment or decrement over how it should or iterate through the loop. So what happens is that that variable, that customers in queue, is going to be checked when
which variable line number? On which line number?
Line number 20.
Okay.
It's going to be checked if it's equal to 1, and if it is equal to 1 the first time, and is 1 less or equal to 5, yes. So it will echo 1. Then it continues to increment it to the next value from the first one, that is now 1, 1 plus 1. Now
That's
it
2.
becomes 2. Then it again checks if 2 is less or equal to 5.
Okay.
Then it will echo 5. It repeats the same procedure until it
Until when it
reaches
reaches
5.
equals to 5 or less. Yeah, until when it's equal to 5. So yeah,
Yes.
perfect. So when it reaches equals to 5, it stops, you know?
Yes.
Because now because what it will do, it will increment the number of customers in the queue to 6. But when it compares that to less or equal to 5, it will find that 6 is greater than 5. So it won't increment to 7. It will just stop there. So that's how the for loop works. And we've just covered it in the most basic way. But when we start learning about string manipulations, arrays, that's when we are going to see loops in a real sense, you know, because I believe that in programming, the most important concepts to learn are the conditions and the loops. The moment you don't really get those properly, life is gonna become hard. So there's another for loop, but I wouldn't want to bring it now because it doesn't work with increments. It's better for another use case when we start learning arrays. So we shall bring it later. But then, before we go, we can look at this loop in the other, how do you call it? So let's say like number of days. No, let's say days in a week. No. Weekdays. So I'm going to start from 1, go all the way to weekdays. Thank you. There's someone who responded in the chat. Who was it? Victor. Thank you. Yeah, your submission of less than 6 is still valid. Yeah. So days less than 8. Yeah. And then weekdays what? Weekdays plus. Now, I know that people might want to see this kind of syntax. You see, we've removed the curly brackets. Okay, we've replaced them with this over here and the end 4. So this is also valid. Now, what we are going to say, we are going to nest a switch. So when you have a code here inside the loop, that code is nested. Okay. So we are going to say weekdays, and this is a condition that is being done, whatever. Even this one we can do switch and end switch. Then we can now come and say case 1. So what would be day 1? Echo. What would be day 1 in this scenario?
Sunday.
Sunday. Okay. All right. So I'll now duplicate this and then just do 2. Here we are just illustrating how to use a loop deeper slide of, or how to use it together with conditions, and we've decided to use it with a switch statement. So this is a Monday. This is a Tuesday. Is Henry still there? This is a Thursday. This is a Friday. And Saturday, yeah. All right. So, wait a moment. One Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Oh, I've missed out. I was wondering. I missed out the day tomorrow. So, and then we are gonna have a duplicate and say 7, and then call it a Saturday. So what is gonna happen? What this loop is gonna do? Who can volunteer and explain what this loop is gonna do? We have a loop here, and inside it we have a condition here. What do you think it's gonna do? David, can you come in?
Yes.
I'm requesting
for the
you.
first.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for the first iteration,
Mm.
weekdays will evaluate to 1, and it will check the condition.
What do you mean by evaluating to 1?
Okay, the variable weekdays will have a value of 1.
Okay.
Yes.
That's great. Yeah.
And then the condition will pass because 1 is less than 8.
Okay.
So it will go on and execute the block of the for loop, which is the switch statement.
Okay.
And the switch takes in weekdays, which is 1, and we have a case for that.
Which is online number?
Which is that's on line number 25. So
yeah.
It will go on and execute the underlying statement in that code block, which is Sunday, and break.
Okay.
So for the first time, it will echo out Sunday, and then it will break out. Okay, it will break out of the switch statement. Then the next iteration will take place for the for loop, where it will increment the weekdays by 1, and the new value of the weekdays will become 2, which passes the condition, the iteration, and then it will go ahead and execute the switch statement, and it will. For now, we have a case of 2, so it will echo out Monday.
Okay.
And increment, so it will repeat the same process until the condition is nullified.
Okay. Oh,
yes.
Okay. Thank you very much. Let's check it. Let's check it, and we know whether what you're saying is correct. So we've been able to output Sunday. Okay. Maybe I needed to break them. I don't know. Maybe I needed to break them like that. I think I need to just copy this and put it here, there, and here. So, all right. Now, let's check it out. On Sunday, didn't I put the break? Yes, I didn't. Okay, let's check. Yes, so that's what it has done. And it has done that. Of course, there would be a simpler way of doing this, but we wanted to see how it would happen for the I wanted us to see how it would happen if we nest a condition statement in a for loop, because some people might think that it's impossible. So here I'm going to put the weekday so that the number also appears to know on the Wednesday what iteration were we, you know, like that until Saturday. So let's do this. Yeah, that's it. So let me ask Mr. Dumba, have you got what we are learning today?
It will be I wasn't in the previous lesson, so I'm here to cheer you people on as I sort myself during the week.
Okay. Yeah, this guy says that he thinks there's an easier way of writing multiple lines of code on what? In one go. Yes, I know there's a shortcut for that. However, there are certain things I want people to see, you know. I wouldn't just want to bring shortcuts here and there, unless I usually do that in tutorials. But when when the tutorial is not called for absolute beginners, but if it's called for absolute beginners or newbies, I take things at a lower level. Okay, Victor. Yeah, but thank you. So yes, Stephen, probably you might understand later, but I also want to bring, I will find a way of explaining these loops easier practically later. I'll try to find a way, because even me in my earlier days, they were difficult for me to understand. However, just to know that when we do a loop, the statement that is inside the loop, these brackets, is gonna be repeated for a certain number of times. And you can assume that this statement, since the initializer is 5, you can assume that this statement will be repeated 5 times. We can of course break it and it doesn't repeat for 5 times. For example, we can introduce here an if statement and we just say if number of students is equal to 3, okay, break, can do something like that. That will simply break this will simply break the what? The condition, and it will never continue to the next step, because the break is a special keyword in programming languages for terminating the execution of a certain a code of block. The opposite of it is continue, you know. So continue will skip, break will terminate, continue will skip. So, but I'll find out explaining the loops later, or watch the earlier video for Saturday, learn more, and then I'll see how we can also look at them in a video, kind of in real life, not in code. All right. You can also think of the loop as a car, the way the car does whatever. The way the car tires move, you know, they keep rotating, you know, and they are completing revolutions. As long as you've pressed on the accelerator and there's no brake, you know, turned on, then that means there's no brake turned on. That means the car tires are going to keep rotating, and the more they rotate, the more you continue to go forward or backwards if the tires are rotating backwards. So that is also similar to a loop. Okay. Yeah. So let me see. There's a statement I broke. You see here, I broke and it has stopped at 3. Do you see that? At 3. So it's not saying that I'm student number 2 or number 1, because we've introduced a break statement. Like I told you that a loop can be terminated. Okay, a loop can be terminated. So someone asked that what's the meaning of this as opposed to this? You know, this checks, this is a comparison for checking total equality or equivalence. The equivalence means that you are checking that the value in a number of students is 3, yes, but is it also a data type of integer? Because this 3 is an integer, and the 3 which will be here will also be an integer. Somewhere in between our sessions, we shall look at strict typing in code, in PHP, and you get to understand. So if it were this, and probably this would work as well, you know, this would work. But if I want to be more strict, I would say this, so that if someone puts a 3 in quotes, if someone puts a 3 in quotes, this condition will not pass. This answer is for Victor and someone who is interested in knowing how those triple equals work. You see that it has just continued, because the 3 which is in the quotes is a 3, but it's not an integer, and yet this one is an integer. So, and if we do this, let's do this equal to equals, you see it working, because it will just compare the values, it will not compare the data type. So we expect that it will stop at 3 instead of showing us 2 and 1. That's it. So let me hope you've got it, Victor. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to stop there, but I request Ifeni to pass around the attendance form. And I also, you are welcome, Victor. And also those who have parting remarks, you can unmute and you share your parting remarks. Thank you very much.
But is Fanny with us?
Oh, really? Is she not? Mm-hmm.
You can also stop the YouTube now.
Yes, I think it has stopped, isn't it? When I stop the Zoom, the Zoom share, doesn't it stop?
No.
Yeah. Huh. Because now that thing is not, I'm not saying the manage participants, record.
No, you can.
Hmm?
You can
When
make me host.
Oh, okay. Okay. Let me make you host. Should I make you co-host or host? Okay, I've made you co-host.
I cannot. If what happens when you tap on the YouTube link?